talking about the legacy, what did you practice to pass on the baton to the upcoming members and keep the wheel rolling? And the second part is, do you think the pandemic has affected the knowledge transfer from old teams to the new team?
Like in terms of my own experience, training the juniors inside the team is more important. And don't keep all the projects to yourself. Even when you're the head of the engine or anything like that, when your first event has ended for that subsystem, the second event that you are doing should not be done by you solely. You should be training the team. That is after you. Never do the same thing again in the team. You have done it once, you have had your chance, you have had your time. The next should be made by someone else with your guidance. You have made your mistakes. Teach the next team while you are in the team, while they are making the mistakes, so that they don't make the same mistakes again. They might be making new mistakes. So it's better to do that. Also, when you are the team, it's not always possible that you can teach everything. But then we have such a good bonding with our seniors that our seniors take out time. They come into the team, and we actually have had sessions where there is a kind of knowledge transfer between the old team and the new team. We believe more into the person actually coming in and presenting what he has learned. So in terms of me, I had a meeting with my juniors of composites team where I told them not what to do, but what
What
not
not
to
to.
do. Don't do these things in humidity. Don't go for these types of materials. And those tips that I gained through experience in the 2 3 years. So I think it's the responsibility of the seniors of the team, not the juniors, to go
Okay.
back and teach what you have learned. If the team has helped you build your career, it's your responsibility to go back to the team and tell the team of how to grow after that. If you're not doing that, then you did nothing for the team and the team did nothing for you. So that is what keeps the team intact. It tells the team, okay, now we have such good seniors, we have good contact with the seniors, that anything happens with us, anywhere we are stuck, you have to call the senior, you have to ask. And because of this point, you took this point out right now. Because of COVID, actually, all the teams are facing a very big crunch right now in terms of knowledge transfer. What has happened is that 6 7 months you are not going to the lab, you are not seeing what the lab is about. There are no juniors as such coming into the lab. They are not seeing the car being made. They are not seeing the whole environment of the team. And when you guys leave or the old team leaves and the new teams directly comes after COVID-19, it's a fresh start. So even for our team, that 10 years of legacy kind of will be lost if we are not transferring it to the new team that is going to come up after COVID-19. They are not going to know small things like where is the spanner kept, where is the helmet kept, where are the tires
Okay.
kept, what to do, how to do the financing, how to do the sponsorship, what kind of paperwork is needed, how to go to the event, and all those things, transport thing, everything gets lost. In that way, what we are doing in our team right now, and all teams actually should be doing, any technical team, not just from any technical team or college based technical teams, they should be setting up a a small team of 3 or 4 people minimum to do the knowledge transfer to the next team. They have to be with the team even after, like, if they have plans of getting out of the city or going somewhere else for masters and all, don't take those people as the knowledge transfer people. Have a team of 3 to 4 people who are going to make presentations, who are going to write down the things that have happened in the team, who are going to, and you have to transfer that to the next team. Otherwise, the legacies that have been carried are going to be lost.
So your team has a rich legacy and also belongs to a tier 1 city. What about the teams which lack these factors? Like how should a young team from tier 2 city plan for sponsorship?
In terms of sponsorship, what happens is there are a lot of companies around. Okay. And when you're in a tier 2 city, what you have to do is that you have to track and place the types of industries that are near you. Connect to the people over there, because one thing, as I have worked in the sponsorship, I know that you are not in contact with the company for sponsorship. You are in contact with the person inside the company. We have actually missed a lot of sponsorship in the way where people left the company that we had sponsorship with, and they shifted from one company to another, and now the second company that he shifted to became our sponsor. So you have to actually catch people, not the company. And the department that you have to target in terms of sponsorship is marketing, not the
Marketing.
technical department. They will be helping you in the tech part of the thing. Apart from this, you guys can actually go for crowdfunding, but
Mm,
you have to set the limit accordingly for the crowdfunding. Don't
mm,
overestimate the crowdfunding or don't underestimate the crowdfunding. Talk to your sponsors from the start about it that we are going for a crowdfunding event. Like everyone from Formula Student can do it. So,
okay.
but look out for the person, not just
Mm,
for sponsorship. You can't just go to them
mm,
someday and just ask for money directly. You have to give them some
mm,
value. What companies are looking for is talent. If your college has a team of people who are talented, are making Formula Student cars, then they might also be helpful to the company in terms of placement.
mm.
So why not strike a conversation with them where you are getting something in terms of sponsorship. Also in future, they are getting a candidate from your team.
I feel captains or leaders must not only be good with their IQ but also emotional quotient. But while heading the team, there are days when you really feel low and stressed out. So, how did you tackle that?
So see what happens is in times that when you are the captain of the team and you're heading the team. So during my time, we were 60 people, and
Okay.
a team of 60 people is actually quite difficult to handle. The thing that happened with me was because it was my first time heading in our team. The main event that we do is Formula Bharat. Supra
Mm,
is the event to test the car for us, and
okay.
Formula
Mm,
Bharat is the event for us to perform actually. Earlier, Supra was the main event for us. FB was not. It's not because that we demean Supra, but it's because our phase of manufacturing the car goes in such a way that we do not complete the testing by the time of Supra. The car is
mm,
just manufactured and then going to the event. So in that way, we learn the mistakes or the suggestions that we get from the event in the Supra. We implement those in the next 6 months and then we go for Formula One. And that is what happened during my time of tenure. We did the Supra. In the Supra, the car performed well, but there was something lacking in the team as well as the car. I don't think the car was much of a problem, but the team was. That was a challenge for me to handle. In that time, I had a talk with our seniors. I had a talk with
mm,
our old captains.
mm,
So the captain should not be actually micromanaging the team or going to each person in the team and asking him daily, "What are you doing?" There's
mm,
actually not much that he should be doing, and taking decisions is the main thing because it's the fourth year.
mm,
You or any captain feels the stress of placement as well as passing out as well as being the captain of the team. During my thing, my aim was doing a master's, so I had to manage the applications of the masters as well as the team as well as the
mm.
academics and the internship
Academy.
that I did in the last year. My senior and the earlier captains were my motivation. They used to give some motivation to me and I used to motivate the team, and that is a chain that will keep on coming. So you can't be the self motivation that you have in the team.
Mm,
You always will be facing some downs and there will be some
mm,
other person that will be motivating you, but the main thing
mm,
here is that you have to find the person that you are going to go when things are not going good. And I had
mm,
my person, I had my people to go to, and it was also our uh, team manager Pranav Gorpade who helped me a lot during that time. He actually
mm.
came in back to the team after his hardships, and we
Okay.
started doing the thing again. So he was not there for a long time in the team, and
Mm,
now two people working with the same mind of the team, it made the whole team into a different thing. So the environment changed
mm,
for that.
So, this was the part from the captain. What will you advise to the team members to support the captain?
We expect the leadership to do everything from managing the team, everything from doing the finance, everything to the technical,
mm,
everything goes to the captain, the top three guys who are handling the team, the CTO, CEO, CXO,
mm,
whoever it is. So the
mm,
team feels that these are the three people who are going to actually do everything for the team, not us. The main thing what
mm,
juniors or any other people in the team is have to be kept in mind is that they are accountable towards the team. They are a part of the team. May it be a good thing or a bad thing, it is going to affect the team. We are all together because of the love of
mm,
motorsports, because of the love of engineering or anything that you are bonded by. But you are
mm,
not bonded by the amount of money that you are getting in, and that is why you are in the team. it is because of your choice that you are in the team. If you are not gaining a lot of knowledge or gaining a lot of quality from the work that you're doing in the team, the first thing is leave the team. Don't be there sitting just idle, not doing anything for the team. It should come from inside that I am not being helpful to the team. I am not here for the certificate of the event. I am here to do something for the team. Because if you do something for the team, trust me, it's going to come back in 100. I myself have gained so much knowledge in my team, so much confidence in my team in those 4 years that if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't be in the same place that I am right now. This is me frankly telling you that the team has helped me. Spending those late nights, spending those morning hours, spending those time in that testing, hungry, not having proper food. It happens to everyone. It's the Formula student life that everyone is going to face, but it's going to come back in 100-fold if you're actually doing it for the team and also for the people around you. If you're doing it for yourself, you just want the certificate, get the thing done, leave the team after that. It's not going to help you at all. I'm going to ask him, what did you change in the team? That is the question that I would be asking. In terms of me, if someone asks me, I will tell them the story that I've told you right now. The vinyling of the car was done by myself 3 times. Three
Nice.
cars that you see for Falcon 3, Falcon 4, and Falcon 5 to this event, you have to do whatever you are doing 100%. If you are not doing 100%, leave the job. If you're not giving your 100%, there is no place for you in here. That's it. It's as simple.
Many times, members leave the team in order to start the preparation for masters or their other goals. So, do you think leaving the team is the right decision?
See, for masters, what you have to choose is it's a different thing from the formula student, what you are or people are doing. But if you are motivated towards whatever you want to do as a masters, start doing those kind of projects in the team. If you want to go for MBA, start getting in the cost and business plan.
Business plan.
It's going to help you in the MBA. If you are going for a MS, start getting into the projects of the team. Start making a research paper for the team, putting a research paper for the team. It's going to help you for your masters. It's going to help the team as well. Don't keep it as one of your goals. Help the team first. It's going to come back as a research paper, and then it will help you in application for the masters. And do those type of take those type of experiences in the team itself. Don't leave the team and get outside and do those. One thing for sure that I will tell you is that uh, if you are doing those 2-3 things at once in the team, it is going to keep you motivated in doing that. I have countless examples of people who left the team in order to pursue cat or anything like that, and they didn't do good in both the things. But leaving the team is not going to help at all. You get back into the same habit of laziness after leaving the team. The motivation that you were getting in the team to excel ahead gets lost. You also feel bad that you have now left the team and you are not doing good with what you were. So leaving the team is not the option. Do it with the team, and be open to the team what your plans are. So many a times, juniors or any other people in the team, they don't tell you that I have my plans of giving UPSC and I'll be starting with my class in 2 days. So things like that happen, and that is where you have to be open about your what you have to do from the start. If you are open to the team doesn't face a problem. You also don't face it. You can manage those things at once.
My next question is regarding the competition. What stage do teams find difficult? Is it the static event or the dynamic event?
In terms of newbie teams, I guess the first thing that you should be focusing on is the statics, not the dynamics.
Okay.
Get your statics to place, get your statics the best that you can, and then start focusing on the performance of the car. What people or teams do wrong from the start is they focus directly on clearing the technical inspection from day one. That's not the thing. If you are making the car according to the rule book from day one, your static gets right, your cost gets right. Cost is actually an event where you just have to tell what is in your car and get all those things down in place. That is what you should be doing, not after making the car, but before making the car. That is where the sequence of the teams goes wrong. Once you have fixed the design, your design is already taken care of. The design event is taken care of. After that, the cost event, when you are manufacturing, start working on the cost. Your cost is taken care of. After that, you have a business plan coming up. Do the business
Formula.
plan according to what cost has come up, according to what design you have made, or any other thing that you are doing. That is where the business plan is finished. After the business plan is finished, side by side, the car is getting completed. Design has finished
Hmm.
with the design, manufacturing has finished with the cost, and now BP during the business plan time, you should be testing the car or getting the car into place. After that,
Hmm.
once the business plan is done, you get enough time to test the car. I think around 1 and a half month. That one
Hmm.
and a half months should be rigorous testing. So keep
Hmm.
a plan in that way, but start from
Hmm.
one center. Keep a dedicated team of 60 to 40. 60% team is working on the design, 40% team is
Hmm.
working on the manufacturing. Once the design
Manufacturing.
gets done, your people start getting free. Those
Hmm.
free people now work on the car. So focus on the statics first.
What is your take on the team size? Do you think there is an optimum team size or such?
Team size, I don't think there is an optimum team size.
Hmm.
Actually, the smaller the team, the better it works. And even if it is a bigger team, there are some 10% people only who are working in the team. This is a
Hmm.
natural law that happens everywhere. If the 10
Hmm.
people are enough for you, if they're taking care of the whole thing, then the size of 10 is enough. There is no minimum team actually, because we have seen teams making cars with just 4 people.
The whole car.
The whole car. The first car that was made by our seniors was just 4 people making the whole car, also doing the design, also doing the cost, also doing the business presentation, going to the event, and I think two of them were drivers. They are all in big companies now, in good positions now, and they were one of the founding members of the team, and
Hmm.
they had worked their thing off in order to make the car.
Hmm.
Of course, a single person can't do it, but then uh, you have to make the team accordingly and set a limit as such for the team that after this we are not inducting. This is
Hmm.
enough.
Hmm.
This is the number that we are focusing on. After that, whoever is coming in is going to be not valuable as such for the team.
Hmm.
So whoever
Hmm.
is right now, he should be starting to multitask.
Keeping the motorsports aside, you were the part of Harvard Ascent Select member. So, what were the other activities you performed during your engineering?
In those 4 years, actually, mm, not much. Okay. In terms of, but I did a lot of courses apart from this thing, the normal thing. I used to do a lot of online courses. I
Hmm.
completed 3 courses from NPTEL when
Hmm.
NPTEL was not a very big thing to do. Right now, everyone is doing NPTEL, but I started doing the NPTEL thing from the end of first year because I wanted to know more about composites. So the first course that I did was on in manufacturing of composites. So after that, I did a lot of courses related to that, and I did a course on civil aviation, which is in Hadapsar. So I actually earlier wanted to become a pilot, so I did a course of civil aviation, but it didn't take much of time. I like doing go karting on and off, but it's not a thing I do very regularly. It's just that okay, now is the mood to go kart. Let's do some go karting. And in terms of academics, not much of things. Everything was focused on the team. Most of the time used to go into the team. And during the last year, the focus was on gaining experience for the masters, applying for the masters. During that time, I completed my Harvard Business School online course, the core course. It took around 3 months, but I managed the time with along with the thing. I used to wake up in the morning, used to take 1 hour, up like apart from the team's time, and used to complete that coursework and then get with the team so that it doesn't uh, hinder into the working of the team. So those were the things that I did, but not much apart from motorsports, to be honest, or with the team. So everything used to be in the team, and that is what actually helped a lot. If the dedication is not 100%, then it's not going to help as much as it did for me.
How did your journey of Formula student shape you as a person and the things that you miss about those days?
uh, I have invested 4 years of my whole life into the Formula student. So
Formula.
those 4 years actually took me from being a very shy person, not talking a lot to people, to right now giving talks to a lot of people, and then having my own setup where we are giving a lot of YouTube videos on the YouTube
Mm.
channels. So it actually developed me in terms of technical knowledge, in terms of skills that are required. So communication skills, because we were working with the team. Team management is something that I really learned in the team. Financial management was a very important key take from a
Mm.
Formula student, because you are low on budget. You have to make the car in the budget that you are allocated or the budget that you are getting. That is where
Mm.
your jugaad comes in. The kind of jugaad that I learned in the team is now helping me a lot in the business world. So
Mm.
it's not jugaad for bad, but jugaad for good. You have to be
Good.
accommodating in that way, and that is what the team
Mm.
taught me. It sobered me down in terms of reality of the whole world. That
Mm.
just doing the whole technical thing is not enough.
But
You
then,
have to develop your skills. You have to develop your apart from the technical world that the college shows you. You have to develop yourself, and that is what the
mm.
team was able to do for me. Taking your own decisions for the team is what I miss actually. Even though I'm
Mm.
working for a startup right now, but it's a different kind of feeling with the team, that whatever you're doing for the team is going to be all yours. The whole decision that you're
Mm.
taking, should the color be red or should the color be black? Okay, this
Mm.
is your decision. This is what is going to make the car look afterwards. So
Mm.
this happiness that if a decision taken right was building the car, uh,
Mm.
was a thing that I actually miss in the team, and also the team bonding that was there, because it was not based on finance, it was not based
Uh,
on money, it was based on motivation, it was based on a team of motorsports enthusiasts coming together and doing the thing for the college or for the team.
mm.
So that is what I actually
Mm.
miss in terms of Formula Student, and the adrenaline rush that used to come during the event. Those 5 days of sleepless nights and whatever goes into those 5 days, that will be missed a lot. Those
Mm.
5 days actually teach you a lot, apart from the whole
Mm.
event. So
Mm.
that is one thing that is actually will be missed from the team. I always want to be a part of the Formula Student community. It is really a good thing for engineers and first year students to gain knowledge from, to gain practical knowledge from. It is going to develop you from 0 to 100.
100.
Nothing else
Totally.
can do that while your college days. Nothing else. No
Help
project
you.
can, no individual
No.
project can, no internship can, or no placement can, nothing can help you learn the type of things that you learn in those 4 years. Is actually like working those 4 years in a company and gaining 4 years of experience. And those
4 years.
4 years of knowledge actually, I should be saying that, takes you ahead of the competition that you have when you're passing out of the college. The other guys who are doing just the studies
Mm.
with you are going to be 4 years behind you in terms of experience. They're going to take next 2 3 years in the company in order to learn the same things that you learned in the team. So you're already ahead in the game when you pass out. And I've
Mm.
experienced this firsthand. Many people, our seniors from the team, have also told me that. So
Mm.
I will truly recommend people to, and have been recommending people to get into the technical clubs, whatever it is, may it be Formula Student, may it be Baha, Supra, or anything like that. Get into a
Mm.
technical club and experience the rush and the teamwork that goes on into it.
Before ending the discussion, can you please throw some light on your startup hovers?
Now, right now, I've been working with a lot of projects. I have three startups that are there, and one of them is yet to be launched. So, with Hovers, what I'm doing, I started it 2 years back when I was in the college. I used to just work some bit of it in order to make the brand. And when I left the college, we started working full fledged on the thing. Right now, I have a team of 15 people. So, it's growing. It's growing in that way. So, those were my interests, and handling the family business as well. Hovers, we started basically for social media marketing at start, because
Mm.
I myself was handling the social media channel for Team Octane Racing, if you see, and I got to know that there is a lot of potential in that. What I did for Team Octane Racing could be done for a lot of businesses around. And that way, we started up with Hovers. Right now, Hovers is a lead generation specialist. So we are into the field of education, we are into the field of automobile, healthcare as well, and real estate. So it can be any business who wants to get digital. We can help them with it. So that is the whole thing that I'm working on. And as I told you, the family business that we have is in food manufacturing. So I am getting into the food manufacturing, optimizing the thing, raw materials and all those things, inventory management. So
Inventory.
yeah, so the things that you need for it, and the marketing
So,
of all the brands that we have is done by Hovers.
okay.
So it's like a in-house marketing team for us, but there are bigger goals for Hovers as we have our satellite offices in London and Kuwait.
Okay, okay.
That is the thing, and the growth will happen. We have launched our basics of digital marketing course on YouTube. It's a completely free course for the basics, and there are 20 modules in it. So once you're done with that, we are going to launch some paid courses for Facebook marketing, for Instagram marketing, LinkedIn marketing, and all those things. But this initial course is completely free, and that is what we are giving out to the public, because digital literacy is a must right now in 2020 and for all businesses after that. So we have done our part of making this journey easier for everyone.
Thank you for being with us and taking time from your busy schedule. We have gained many valuable insights and learnings from this discussion.